Hey folks, welcome back to the Stoic journey. When we love someone, folks, whether it's someone new lighting up our world or someone we've cherished who's slowly slipping away, we go above and beyond, trying to be seen, to be valued, to be missed. We give so much of ourselves, our time, energy, even our peace, hoping they'll notice us, that they'll realize what we bring to their life. We just want them to see what's right in front of them. But sometimes, no matter how much we try, how much we give, they don't see our worth. Or worse, they start pulling away, drifting into a distant memory even though they're still right there. It's like holding sand in your hand, folks. The tighter you try to hold on, the quicker it slips through your fingers. And that's where a choice like no contact comes in, folks. It's not a trick, and it's not about playing games. It's a choice, one that takes guts, but it's a choice that speaks louder than any words you could say. You see, when you go silent, you create something powerful, something that forces them to take notice. It's like slamming a door shut in the middle of a quiet room. Suddenly, they're jolted awake. That door isn't just any door. It's the one they thought would always be open, the one that would always be there, waiting for them to stroll back in whenever they felt like it. But now it's closed, and they're left staring at it, realizing they never truly appreciated it until it wasn't there. This silence, it's not a retreat, it's a declaration. You're saying, if you don't see my worth now, I'm not going to stand here waiting for you to open your eyes. You're taking all that energy, all that time you spent trying to be seen, trying to be valued, and you're turning it inward. They feel that shift. They sense that pull away, and suddenly, they're faced with a choice they never expected. Step up or lose you entirely. Going no contact is a reminder to them and to yourself that you're not an option. You're not just there for convenience or comfort. You're there because you bring something unique, something irreplaceable. And when they no longer feel the warmth of your presence, when the silence fills the space where your voice once was, that's when they start to miss you. That's when they start to question everything, asking themselves, what went wrong? What did they overlook? Why can't they just move on? Because it's not as easy as they thought it would be. You're showing them that their casual attention or half-hearted effort isn't enough. You're raising the bar on what you're willing to accept in your life. You're saying, if you want my energy, my loyalty, my love, you're going to have to earn it. And that, my friend, is a move they can't ignore. It forces them to reflect on what you brought into their life, to feel the loss of the comfort, the security, the support they may have taken for granted. And in that silence, they're left to face the truth that you were worth more than they ever realized. This choice to go no contact, it's your armor. It's the shield you put up to protect your value, your time, your heart. Because in a world that wants you to chase, to prove, to bend over backward just to be noticed, the strongest thing you can do is stand still, to say, if you want to be part of my life, it's time for you to show up. I'm done proving myself. And that's a stance they won't soon forget. So go ahead, hit that like button below this video. Let me know you're with me on this journey. Show me and everyone watching that you're ready to stand strong and take this step. When you hit that button, you're not just showing support, you're encouraging others who are facing the same struggles. Let's unite. Let's stand together on this one. Show your commitment, show your strength by hitting that like button right now. So, as you step into this journey, whether it's new to you or you're already walking this path, remember, you're not here to be someone's second thought. You're not here to be half appreciated, half seen, half loved. No contact is the statement that you're worth the full picture, and anything less just won't do. Let that silence speak for you. Let it echo louder than any words, and watch as they realize that when you walked away, you took something irreplaceable with you. Your worth. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how this journey will unfold when you decide to step back, go silent, and truly let them feel your absence. We're diving into the 7 stages you'll go through when you choose no contact. And let me be straight with you, this isn't a quick fix. This isn't some magic switch where you go no contact and boom, they suddenly realize your worth and come running. No, it's not that simple. They may start to feel the emptiness of your absence, miss the warmth and the presence you brought, but they're not going to fully appreciate you right away. That takes time, it takes patience, and it's not an easy road. So believe me when I say this lesson is crucial. It's one that requires you to hold your ground, to face each stage with a strength you didn't know you had. So stick with me, folks. Stick with me tight, because we're about to go through some real transformation here. Accept this challenge right now. This isn't about proving yourself to them anymore. You're done with that. You're here to prove to yourself that you're worth more than someone's half-hearted interest or occasional attention. And if you're ready to make that stand, if you're ready to declare it, I want you to type it out loud in the comments right here, right now. I'm done proving myself. Show me you've accepted this challenge, that you're ready to walk this journey without looking back. Because once you're on this path, it's not about them anymore. It's about you, and it's about owning your worth from here on out. Number 1, the reality check. The reality check. So you've taken that leap. You've gone no contact. You're thinking, finally, they'll notice. They'll feel the difference. They'll realize what they're missing. Maybe you even expect a text within a day or two. Or perhaps you're holding on to that hope that the silence will shake them awake. But here's the reality, friend, and it's going to hit hard. In most cases, nothing happens. The first few days are nothing but silence. And that silence, it's deafening. It's a quiet that gets under your skin. A silence that feels personal. You might sit there staring at your phone, telling yourself, any moment now. But that moment doesn't come. And that's the thing about reality checks. They don't come in nice packages. They hit you like a cold slap in the face, forcing you to confront the harsh truth. They may not be rushing to reach out. It doesn't mean they've forgotten you, and it definitely doesn't mean they don't feel your absence. They're likely shocked, caught off guard, maybe even trying to figure out why you're not chasing like you used to. But still, they're holding back. Now, don't lose heart here. This is why I said it would be hard. The silence might make you feel like they're moving on, like they don't care at all. But remember, they're human too, and whether they show it or not, they're feeling that emptiness. It's just not always instant, and it's definitely not always obvious. Right now, they're grappling with the shock, with the shift. They might even try to convince themselves they don't miss you to protect their own ego. But the absence is there, creeping in, making them think, even if they don't act right away. Imagine it like this. You're like a favorite book they left on a shelf, one they always assumed would be there whenever they wanted it. But now, without you constantly reaching out, it's like they're realizing their favorite book has gone missing, but they can't quite admit it to themselves yet. They may pass that shelf every day, sensing the empty space, but not fully acknowledging it. The absence of you, the familiar presence they took for granted, is slowly settling in. This silence you're facing, it's part of the process, and it's the hardest part. You're staring down the reality that you have no control over when or how they'll respond. But that's also where your strength lies. Because in this moment, in this quiet, you're learning something powerful. You don't need their validation to prove your worth. You are standing still, facing the storm of doubts, and learning to embrace the peace that comes when you stop needing anyone else's acknowledgement. Remember, it's only a matter of time before the silence will start to have its own impact. They will feel it. That is inevitable. Because in every quiet moment, you're giving them a chance to reflect, to feel the true weight of what it's like not to have you there. Each day, each hour, is another step toward them realizing what you meant, what they had, and let go. And yes, this isn't about them forgetting you. It's about you becoming someone unforgettable. This silence is your foundation, a place to rebuild yourself in a way that isn't reliant on anyone else's response. By the time you get to phase 7, they'll feel the weight of every single moment you've been gone. They'll feel the shift, and that's when the true impact of your silence will come crashing down on them. They will realize that you're no longer there to be leaned on, that you've become something stronger than the silence, something they never expected. But until then, hold steady. Ground yourself in this reality. Remind yourself that this silence isn't about losing, it's about gaining your power back. A lot of you are watching, taking in this guidance, letting it resonate, but not hitting that like button. And honestly, that stings a little. I'm pouring everything I've got into this, giving you tools to hold steady and stay strong. It's such a small gesture, but hitting that thumbs up lets me know you're here. You're with me on this journey. So please, if you're finding value in what we're building here, take a moment to hit that like button. Let's keep moving forward together, grounded and unstoppable. The moment of doubt. So here you are, days into no contact, and reality has settled in. That initial shock of silence, you made it through, but now doubt starts creeping in like a shadow. This is what I call the moment of doubt, the stage where your mind begins to play tricks on you. Did I make a mistake? What if they're moving on? What if they never even cared? You question everything. This stage hits hard because it's where the questions get louder, echoing in the silence you've created. And in these moments, the urge to reach out can feel overwhelming. But here's the truth you need to hold on to. This doubt is part of the journey, and pushing through it is what leads to growth, not just for you, but for them as well. Imagine a seed planted deep in the soil. It's dark, cold, and lonely down there, and if it could feel, it would probably doubt whether it would ever reach the sunlight. But the seed doesn't dig its way back up. It pushes down roots, fights through the darkness, and trusts the process. You're in that stage right now. The doubt you feel, it's natural. It's the discomfort that comes before breakthrough. You have to sit with it, face it, and trust that there's a purpose to this silence. Think about this quote: "Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will." This isn't just about doubting if they miss you. It's about the risk of doubting your own strength, of losing sight of why you started this journey in the first place. You began no contact because you recognized your worth, because you wanted to stop giving yourself away for crumbs. Letting doubt take over would be like throwing all that progress away. It's easy to look back and remember the good moments, the laughs, the warmth, and start wondering if you're giving all of that up. But here's a reality check. If they're not missing you yet, it's only because they're not ready to face the truth of what they've lost. People often need time to feel the full impact of someone's absence. This isn't about instant gratification. It's about the slow, steady realization that you are someone worth missing. Doubt might try to convince you to break the silence, to give in, but giving in means surrendering your power, throwing away the strength you've already shown. Let me give you a metaphor for this moment of doubt. Imagine a strong, roaring river. When you dam it, that flow doesn't stop. Instead, the water builds up behind the dam, creating more and more pressure, becoming stronger over time. Right now, you're the dam, holding back the flow of your energy, your attention. And while it may feel strange, even painful, to hold that back, what's happening behind the scenes is that pressure is building. Every day you stay silent, every moment you hold steady, that energy is growing stronger, more powerful. Eventually, that dam will break, but this time, it'll be on your terms, in your power, not out of weakness. This is where staying grounded is crucial. When the doubt hits, bring yourself back to your foundation. Remember why you started no contact in the first place. Write down these words. I am worth the wait. Keep them close to you, in your mind and in your heart, because this moment of doubt isn't permanent. It's just a test, and passing this test means proving to yourself that you don't need to chase or beg for anyone's validation. You're worth more than someone's immediate reaction. And listen, even if they're not reaching out, don't let that fool you. Your silence speaks louder than any words you could say. They're noticing, even if they're not showing it. People often take longer to process things than we think, and just because they're not acting now doesn't mean your absence isn't affecting them. Every day that goes by, they're left to sit with the quiet, to feel the gap you once filled. Your silence is doing more work than you realize. Remember the saying, ships don't sink because of the water around them. Ships sink because of the water that gets in them. Doubt is like that water, trying to find cracks in your resolve, slipping in wherever it can to weigh you down. But if you keep it out, if you stay focused on your worth, then you're unbreakable. This doubt can try to shake you, but it doesn't have to define you. So here's an affirmation for this stage. I am stronger than my doubt. Say it. Write it. Live it. In fact, drop it in the comments right now. I am stronger than my doubt. This is your reminder, your anchor. Every time you feel the urge to give in, come back to these words. You are stronger than that little voice telling you to reach out, to break your silence. You're bigger than that fear whispering that they're moving on. They haven't forgotten you, and if they truly see your worth, they'll come back in time. So let the doubt be there, but don't let it own you. You're building strength here, creating an unshakable foundation that doesn't rely on anyone else's attention. And when this moment of doubt passes, and it will, you'll look back and realize that you've come out the other side with a strength that no one can take away. Hold steady, my friend. You're not giving in, you're moving forward. The breaking point number 3, the breaking point. So folks, when you were battling with your own doubt, trying to convince yourself to stay strong, they were on the other side dealing with something entirely different, their own ego. They felt your absence, sure, but they weren't ready to let down their guard to admit they missed you. That's the tricky thing about pride. It convinces people they're fine without you, that they're in control. They'll say to themselves, I don't need them. I can move on. But deep down, that silence is hitting harder than they'd ever admit. And here you are, moving past the doubt, finding your footing, when suddenly it all catches up to you. And this is the breaking point. At this stage, you're not just dealing with doubt or silence. Now it feels like everything is crashing down at once. Maybe you thought they'd reach out by now, that they'd have swallowed their pride, but they haven't. It's radio silence on their end, and here you are, wondering if you've lost them for good. This is the moment when the reality of the situation digs in deep, and you might feel like you're breaking apart. The weight of all that waiting, all that hoping, comes down hard. And here's the hardest part. At this point, you've already put in so much effort, so much patience, and yet it feels like they're still not budging. The temptation to reach out, to just check in, or give in to a weak moment, is intense. It feels like if you just say something, maybe this ache will disappear. But remember, sometimes it takes a good fall to know where you stand. Right now, you're at a breaking point. Yes, but that doesn't mean it's time to break your resolve. Think of this as the storm before the calm. Imagine a mountain climber who, halfway up a peak, exhausted, cold, and bruised, they look down and see how far they've climbed, but the summit still feels out of reach. They want to turn back, to retreat to safety, but they've come too far. That's you right now. You're facing the last stretch, and it's the hardest. But once you push past this breaking point, once you decide to hold your ground, you're that much closer to true freedom, the kind that doesn't rely on someone else's actions or validation. You're probably wondering, but if I feel this broken, how can they not feel it too? The truth is, they feel it. This is the stage where your silence starts getting under their skin. They may not show it, they may even pretend they're unbothered, but inside, there's a pull, an awareness of what they're missing. Their pride might still be in the way, but they're noticing the gap you left. The difference now is that the silence isn't a shock. It's a void that's starting to ache. But here's the kicker. If you break your silence now, you give them the easy way out. You relieve them of having to make the first move, of having to face their own discomfort. By staying strong, you let them feel every inch of that distance. So how do you stay grounded? Here's a quote to hold on to. You don't drown by falling in the water. You drown by staying there. You're in the depths right now, but you're not sinking. This breaking point is only as powerful as you let it be. It's uncomfortable, even painful, but it's temporary. Keep telling yourself, I'm stronger than this moment. Write it down. Keep it close and say it every time the urge to break your silence comes creeping in. Drop it in the comments right now. I'm stronger than this moment. Let it be your anchor. Think of it this way. If they don't come back after this stage, it's not because you're unworthy. It's because they haven't yet realized what they're losing, and that's on them, not you. Your breaking point doesn't define your value. In fact, pushing through this moment only makes you more resilient, more grounded in your worth. This is where you let go of the idea that you need their validation to feel whole. This is where you decide that you'd rather keep climbing on your own than turn back just to be met halfway. So here you are, at the breaking point. It's okay to feel the weight of it. It's okay to acknowledge the ache, but you're not going to let it control you. You're not giving in, and you're not giving up on yourself. Keep your focus ahead, because once you push past this stage, you'll find a peace that doesn't depend on them. And that peace, that's where true strength lives. Accepting the loss. Number 4, accepting the loss. If they manage to fight through their own ego to break past their pride, they'll reach this point. The point of accepting the loss. This is where it finally hits them, clear as day, that you're not just a fleeting thought or a passing phase in their life. They start to feel the real weight of your absence, realizing what they've let slip away. If they succeed in getting here, it's a powerful moment that often brings them back with the humility and recognition they didn't have before. They begin to see what you truly brought to their life, and they feel the full cost of losing you. But let's be real, This isn't the same for everyone. For some of you, your ex may not reach this point quickly. They might still be wrestling with their ego, caught up in their own stubbornness, and that's their journey to take. But here's the part that's critical for you. You can't sit around waiting, desperate and needy for them to finally get it. You're not here to be someone's option, waiting endlessly for them to see your worth. That's not your story anymore. This is the moment where you have to look that lost square in the face and accept it for what it is. You're letting go, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. And in doing so, you're setting yourself free from the weight of waiting, from the feeling that you need someone else's attention to feel complete. Accepting the loss isn't about giving up hope. It's about choosing yourself over the uncertainty of someone else's actions. This is where your real journey begins. As you move forward, understand that this isn't the end. This is the beginning of showing them your worth, the hard way, through actions they can't ignore. You're stepping into a transformation, a rebirth of sorts, where you're focused entirely on becoming the best version of yourself. You're not proving yourself to them anymore. You're proving to yourself that you're capable of greatness with or without anyone else's validation. Imagine a caterpillar breaking out of its cocoon. The struggle is real. The process isn't easy, but it's necessary for it to emerge as a butterfly. That's you right now. You're in the stage where you accept what was, but you're not bound by it. Instead, you're moving forward with strength and resilience, growing wings that they'll eventually see, whether they're ready to or not. So don't just sit there, stuck in the loss. Use it as fuel. Let it be the starting line of your transformation, because as you rise, as you start to shine in ways they never anticipated, they'll be left facing the reality of who you've become. That's how you show your worth. Not by waiting, but by moving forward and becoming someone unforgettable. Number 5, reclaiming your energy. Now that you've accepted the loss, here comes the stage where you take back everything you once poured into them. This is reclaiming your energy, and it's one of the most powerful phases in this journey. Up until now, so much of your energy has been tied to them. Whether it was thinking about them, hoping for them to reach out, or waiting for them to notice what they lost. But now it's all about you. This is where you start investing everything back into yourself. Think of it like a garden. For so long, you were watering someone else's plants, tending to their needs, hoping they'd appreciate the care and attention you gave. But now, you're redirecting that water, that care, into your own soil. You're choosing to nourish yourself, to grow into someone stronger, more grounded. And that's the beauty of reclaiming your energy. It transforms you from the inside out. At first, it might feel strange. You've been so used to giving, to trying, that this shift can feel almost unnatural. But remember, this is about recognizing your worth and prioritizing your well-being over waiting on someone else's response. Every ounce of energy you use to put into them is now fuel for your own growth. Every thought, every moment of attention you use to give away is now a gift you're giving back to yourself. And this is where the transformation truly begins. Let me put it like this. Imagine you're a phone with a limited battery. Every time you reached out to them, waited for them, or thought about them, it was draining that battery bit by bit. And since they weren't charging it back, you were running on empty. But now, you're plugging back into your own power source, letting yourself recharge fully. You're no longer running on low, hoping for a boost from someone else. You're choosing to power up, to be self-sustaining. And with this reclaimed energy, you can do incredible things. You're free to focus on what makes you feel alive. Pursue that passion you've set aside. Strengthen friendships. Dive into self-care routines. And rebuild parts of yourself that might have been neglected. This is about becoming the person you've always wanted to be. The person they'll remember. Not because you chased them, but because you rose above the need for anyone's approval. This isn't just about moving on. It's about moving up, about choosing to grow rather than letting yourself stay stuck in the past. Think of the quote, "You can't pour from an empty cup." This is your time to refill, to renew, to build yourself into someone even more powerful and complete. And here's the kicker. This isn't just beneficial for you. The stronger you become, the more evident your worth becomes to everyone, including them. Because here's the thing, as you reclaim your energy, you become magnetic. People are naturally drawn to those who don't need anyone else to complete them. The more you invest in yourself, the more others will start to notice. And if they come back, it won't be because you begged for their attention. It'll be because your energy, your confidence, your renewed sense of self-worth is undeniable. So as you go through this phase, stay grounded in this affirmation. I am my own source of energy. Say it, write it, let it guide you every day. Drop it in the comments below. I am my own source of energy. This is your reminder that you don't need anyone else to feel full, to feel alive, to feel whole. You are complete in yourself, and the energy you put into becoming the best version of you is worth every second. This stage isn't about proving anything to anyone else. It's about reclaiming your time, your focus, and your power. So go ahead, folks. Take that energy back. Use it to create a life that you love, a life that feels fulfilling, with or without anyone's validation. Because the real win here isn't getting someone to miss you. The real victory is finding a place of peace and power within yourself, where you're no longer waiting, no longer giving away your energy to someone who doesn't appreciate it. You're reclaiming it all, and that's the foundation for a life that's truly unstoppable. Number 6, becoming your best self. By now, you've accepted the loss, reclaimed your energy, and you're ready for the most powerful phase yet, becoming your best self. This isn't about them anymore. This is about you, about taking every ounce of energy you once spent waiting, doubting, hoping, and using it to build yourself into someone who's unstoppable. This isn't a phase for sitting back and waiting to be noticed. It's a phase for putting in the work, for proving to yourself that you're worth every bit of effort, every step forward. Nothing comes without effort, and becoming your best self requires you to push, to dig deep, and to commit to growth. Think about it. No one reaches their full potential by staying in their comfort zone, by waiting on someone else's approval. Every legendary person you admire got to where they are because they chose to invest in themselves, to believe in their own potential, even when no one else did. That's what this phase is about, turning your focus inward and putting in the work to become the best, strongest, most authentic version of you. Picture a sculptor chiseling away at a block of marble. Every strike, every cut, every polish reveals something breathtaking underneath. That's you right now. You're not simply letting time pass, waiting for life to get better. You're taking an active role in shaping yourself, refining your strengths, letting go of what no longer serves you, and becoming someone so confident and grounded that people will be drawn to you, not because you're chasing them, but because you've become someone worth chasing. This transformation isn't just about looking good on the outside or impressing others. It's about building a solid foundation of self-worth, resilience, and confidence that no one can shake. It's about becoming so strong within yourself that whether they come back or not doesn't define your happiness, doesn't dictate your choices, doesn't control your peace. This is about breaking free from that cycle of needing someone else's validation and stepping into a life where you know exactly who you are and what you deserve. Because here's the truth. When you focus on becoming your best self, the people who once underestimated you, who didn't see your worth, will start to notice. They'll see the strength you've built, the glow that comes from someone who's unbreakable. But by then, it won't matter. Because you're not doing this for them, you're doing it for yourself. And that's the kind of power that's undeniable. Let this phase be where you chase your own dreams, nurture your own passions, and become the person you've always wanted to be. If they do come back, it'll be because they're drawn to the confidence and strength you now radiate. But the difference now? You're not doing this to be chased. You're doing this to live a life that feels full, purposeful, and complete, whether they're part of it or not. Here's your affirmation for this stage. I am worth every effort I make. Write it, say it, and let it sink in. Drop it in the comments below. I am worth every effort I make. This is your reminder that every single step you take toward growth is worth it. You're not just building a life worth living. You're building a life where you're no longer waiting for anyone to see your worth. So go all in. Invest in yourself like never before. Take this time to become someone you're proud of, someone who stands tall, confident, and unshakable. Because at the end of this journey, it won't be about who notices or who returns. It'll be about the powerful person you've become along the way. Number 7, the unforgettable you. Here we are, the final stage, the one we talked about way back in the reality check. When you first started, it was tough. You faced silence, doubt, and the urge to reach out. But look at you now. You've come through every phase, stronger, wiser, and unshaken. You've done the work, reclaimed your energy, and become the best version of yourself. This is the stage where you become the unforgettable you. Think about it. When people look for a partner, they're drawn to someone who's steady, who brings peace, who doesn't rely on anyone else for happiness. They look for resilience, for someone who can stand alone but chooses to stand with them. You have all those qualities now. You've worked hard to reach this point, and that strength, that inner calm, it shines through. You've become the person who doesn't settle for breadcrumbs, who doesn't chase. Instead, you're someone who others want to keep close, someone whose energy and presence are unmatched. This isn't just about them missing you. It's about becoming someone so unforgettable that people notice without you lifting a finger. It's about building a life so full, so abundant, that others feel lucky just to be part of it. You're not waiting for anyone to see your worth because you live it every day. You're the person people remember, not because you demanded attention, but because you became someone worthy of admiration. The truth is, you've transcended needing anyone's validation. You're not proving anything to anyone else. You're simply living in a way that reflects the strength, the resilience, and the self-worth you've built from the ground up. Your happiness is yours, rooted in who you are, not in anyone else's opinion, presence, or approval. And that kind of confidence, it's magnetic. People are drawn to those who know their value, who walk through life with a quiet, unshakable peace. That's you now. You've become the unforgettable you, not by shouting, but by simply being. At this point, if they come back, it won't be because you waited for them or chased them. It'll be because your presence, your strength, and your peace became undeniable. They'll feel the gap you left and see the transformation you've undergone. They'll realize that you didn't wait for them to come around. You rose, you thrived, and you became unforgettable on your own terms. But here's the best part. Whether they come back or not no longer defines you. You're not here to be an option. You're here to live a life so fulfilling, so purposeful, that anyone who sees it will understand that your presence is a privilege. You're no longer seeking validation or playing by anyone else's rules. You've created your own path, and it's one filled with the kind of strength, confidence, and peace that others wish they had. So remember this as you step into this final stage. The most powerful relationship you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself. You've proven to yourself that you are complete, powerful, and grounded. You don't need anyone to complete you. You are already whole. This journey wasn't about making them miss you. It was about helping you find and embrace the best version of yourself. And now you're here, in a place where your energy, your strength, and your resilience are so strong that you've become unforgettable, whether they ever realize it or not. Congratulations, you've made it. You've become the unforgettable you.